everyone, John here, your host on the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome back. It's July 2nd, 2 days before the 4th of July. This is going to be kind of a monster mash of a video. We're going to combine a few different ideas, things that we want to talk about. It's going to be an odd kind of week just because the 4th of July lands on Wednesday. I mean, it can land on Wednesday like any other day. It just kind of goofs things up. Anyway, I've got some questions to finish, some ideas, and I want to start with a 4th of July message. And that message is that we are the people. Now, some of the people are not good. Some of the people are communists, socialists. Some of the people here want to destroy our nation. Some of the people want to change our nation into something far different than it is even today. It is so, they want to change it into something that is so far unrecognizable to the founding fathers that they would think they're on another planet, right, or an alternate universe. Those people that we're kind of discussing, these non-American, don't want to be American, want to kill America, destroy America, change America, bring America down to everyone else's level. These are not real Americans. You see, in my opinion, what Americans are supposed to be is a people that believes first and foremost in personal freedom. And it is through that personal freedom that personal achievement, personal wealth, personal power is achieved, it's acquired. And then through our individual strengths, the cities and counties and states and indeed the whole nation is powerful and strong. Right? That independent or free spirit is what America is about. And that was embodied in the Declaration of Independence, a recognition that our rights come from God, not from some government. It doesn't come from people in Washington. My rights do not come from the majority of Americans. My rights come from God Almighty. And that was recognized in the Declaration of Independence, which was signed on July 4th, 1776. Right. It's very important to reflect on July 4th, what's going on. And while we're talking about that, this reflection on July 4th, there are threats and rumors and reports that Antifa, communists, other left-wing, radicalized, anti-American groups are going to try some stunts. So we'll have to wait and see, but the best thing we can be is prepared. So definitely be prepared for whatever happens. It's interesting to note for me that just a few short weeks ago, literally 3, maybe 4 weeks ago, all was quiet on the Western Front. You know, we were going through dealing with all of the other shit at the fan, discussions, preparations, items, and it almost seemed like a cannon shot, right? A shot heard around the world, except it was kind of muffled. A muffled shot heard around the world. Something happened, in other words, a click, a change of speed, where it became understood by the Democrats that they better do something because they're losing it. Right? And that's when Maxine Waters started her crap. Everybody. So, you know, it's gone from 0 to 60 very quickly. And by 0 to 60, I mean, you know, big alert status. These wackos out here want to cause problems for us. They don't like what's going on geopolitically. Right? Trump is getting ready to have a meeting with Putin, Vladimir Putin, in, I believe, Finland. And what are they going to talk about? I don't know. Trump keeps going at this thing saying, hey, it's going to be a trade war. We're going to have to do something about these tariffs. And everyone gets their hackles up, everyone meaning the national leaders around the world. And then they back down and they play ball. So there's some stuff going on here, some stuff that you and I, as free Americans, aren't aware of. It's very interesting. I was just watching a car show today, a car show. And the show was based out of England, and they were talking about some imported sports cars they like there that come from California. And they said, you know, we like these cars, but there's a huge tax when you buy one and you have it shipped over there. And I thought, why do we have a tax? They have a tariff on our goods, right? It makes it more expensive for the Brits to buy our stuff. Right? It makes our goods more expensive, more punitive for them to try and have the things that we want to sell. I thought we had free trade. I thought we were all good buddies, right? And that's what's going on right now. We're discovering that while we may all be good buddies, we're not on the good buddy free trade system. See, some countries have tariffs and some don't, and some like to play games. And so that's what I think Trump is sorting out. And that's just the trade issue. We have a whole lot more issues going on. So, a lot is going to start happening. It's already started. And I've got the air conditioner on because it's hot. Right? It got hot all of a sudden. First time I've had the AC on this year. Right? July 1st, it got hot. So let's wrap up with the questions. And I'll start with one by Wild Irish Rose. And she wrote, I'm assuming it's a she, please ask John if he can elaborate on or if he knows about underground bases for the elite and the military, and then also directed energy weapons. Deep underground military bases, also known as DUMBs, they've been in existence for a long time with only a partial understanding by the public about what they are, where they're at, what is being stored there, everything about them. How can we really know? They're by and large secret. One that's featured in a lot of movies and a lot of television shows is Cheyenne Mountain. Was a NORAD facility, headquartered. It was supposed to be impervious to nuclear strikes, and they could control everything from there. And that was featured in the movie War Games, and many others. That's an underground military base. What the government is concerned about is continuity of government, the continuation, the perpetuation of itself. Right? As human beings, we are concerned about our perpetuation. We want to have kids and grandkids and great-grandkids and so on and so forth. And so we perpetuate what we want by taking action. The government does the same thing, except they take your money and my money to do it. Anyways, they want to make sure they have a continuous, perpetual government that maintains control, power, and authority. And so they have these deep underground military bases. So they're out there. There's lots of them. And there's a big discussion about them and has been for at least a decade, probably two, right? That they're deep underground military bases where they interface with aliens, other subterranean races. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy theory. An interesting cat named Phil Schneider, he's dead now, claims to have been in a shootout with aliens, right? And he had some interesting scars and missing fingers, and then he mysteriously died, right, in one of these suicide cases, kind of like a Clinton suicide case. Except he wasn't talking about the Clintons. He was talking about aliens and underground bases. You know, we've got a lot of stuff under the ground. It's being hidden there. It's out of sight. It's not understood. I've seen a lot of reports of truckers who say they deliver semi-loads of whatever they have into these underground facilities, and they can drive anywhere from, a couple hundred feet to miles underground, they say. I personally, let's just say, I have very limited knowledge about these things, except every military base has some underground facility to some extent. But the really big ones, the continuity of government ones, they've been being created since the 50s and 60s. And the tunneling technology is amazing. So if you want to look them up, go and look up Deep Underground Military Base on YouTube. You'll find lots of information there, and you like everything I say, you're going to have to watch it and decide for yourself, whether or not it's true, possible, necessary, redundant, needed, right? If it's not needed and it is pointless, right, they probably don't have it. So if they have it, there's probably a damn good reason it's there. Right? Okay, and then there's the last part of the question was, what do you know about directed energy weapons? Only that I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I was not part of any secret weapons testing with the Marine Corps. I don't know anything about directed energy weapons, again, other than what I've learned on YouTube. There's a lot of different technology. One that I've read about, studied, been concerned about is HAARP, H-A-A-R-P. And it was originally run out of Alaska. They actually have these HAARP facilities around the world now, as well as on mobile floating ships. Now, there's some belief that a directed energy weapon was used on 9/11 on the Twin Towers to help bring them down, or to bring them down, period. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Do I know? I have no fucking clue. I have no real personal evidence. There is a lot of concern, though, that these directed energy weapons can be lasers, can be frequency modulators, they can be essentially using the atmospheric dome as a sort of like a satellite dish. If the ionosphere is charged and they can get it to release at a certain point and aim it back down, off this atmospheric dome shape, it seems like they could direct that, and it's an energy, and it can be used as a weapon. Now let's look at the Mideast right now. I was having a scotch last night, and older gentleman that I know decided to share some stories with me about his recent RV trip from North Dakota through South Dakota down into the lower areas, and then he has family back in Ohio. Very nice older gentleman. I like him a lot. We share stories from time to time. He was telling me how he could not get away from all of these severe weather alerts. He says they dodge left, they dodge right. He says he's not just talking about tornadoes, but these little microbursts and storm cells. I'm getting a lot of reports and watching a lot of news as well, but getting quite a few reports that are sent to my email about the severe weather this year. Now, is it natural? It could be. What the fuck do I really know? Do I believe there are directed energy weapons of different sorts for different purposes? Yes, I do. Do I believe the government wants to use weather as a military tool? Yes, I do, because they've stated such. I mean, they've talked about controlling the weather all the way back in the 1920s, I believe. Back when they first started coming up with some real big science. And certainly, post-World War II, Cold War, they started talking about using the weather as a weapon. And directed energy weapons would be one of the ways it would come about. We have this technology, yeah. Why all the aerosol spraying in the atmosphere? The shit they're shooting out the tail end of these planes. If the government would just be fucking honest with us for once, treat us like adults and tell us what they're doing and why, and be honest, we could then determine, agree, or disagree en masse as we the people, and let them know we don't approve, or hey, we approve. But I have a feeling that since they don't tell us, we don't approve. It'll be nice if we get control of our government again and get out of this eternal state of emergency that they've declared, so that we can get to the truth on a lot of this shit that's going on. It would be nice to have a government that we could rely on. As incompetent as they are in those circumstances, they're certainly less incompetent than they are when they operate under the veil of total secrecy, as well as a endless supply of cash that they're guaranteeing will pay back in the future. All right, next comment from Hall Page. What about California becoming 3 states? In California, we passed a there was a proposition, ballot measure that we voted on as the citizens of California, and this was, I think, 20 years ago, where we said yay or nay, up or down on whether or not immigrants get benefits. And we voted way back then, no, believe it or not, no, we do not want to pay for entitlements, freebies, handouts, welfare for non-Americans. The California Supreme Court turned it over. They said, nope, people of California can't vote on something like that. They're not allowed to make decisions for themselves. So just let me know way back then how the referendum process is bullshit, and it doesn't really mean anything. But so this 3-state thing, split California into 1 state, 2 states, 3 states. Why not half a dozen? I would like my own little state right here. Just get everyone else the fuck out. I don't think it's going to happen. Even if Californians want it, I don't think it's going to happen. We haven't had it happen that I know of. The state of Jefferson has always been a threat, right? It's a political threat. It's a vote of no confidence in Sacramento, in D.C. But I don't think we're going to get it. You look at a country like England that says it no longer wants to associate in any required form with the EU. Now remember, or understand, I don't know if you remember, the United Kingdom, Britain, England, they never adopted the euro as their currency. They kept their British pound. But they did abide by the euro rules. They're just trying to get out of that. And it's been 2 fucking years since the people passed a law saying they want to get the fuck out. You see, once a government coalesces, becomes a thing, an object, a corporation is what it is, they decide that they want to live perpetually. Right? They want power, continuity. Here we go again. The state of California, as it is, does not want to give up everything or anything. So there'd be a fight and a half, and it'd take years and years to get through court battle after court battle. One part of California will sue, another part will sue, other states will sue, the federal government will probably sue them. I don't see it going anywhere. But I think it's good to continue to hear that the people of California have a vote or an opinion of no confidence in political leadership. The fucking Bay Area and Los Angeles, they're just basically out of their goddamn minds. They're crazy. All right. And it's evidenced by what's going on. You can't tell me that a state, the state of California, has an economy that's so big. What is it, the 6th or 7th largest in the world? And it's being destroyed from the inside out by these idiot, liberal, unconstitutional, freedom-hating fucking commies. That's all they are. They're just a bunch of communists. And all a socialist is, or all a communist is a socialist in a big hurry. These people are in a big hurry. And I can guarantee you, if they didn't have to worry about the other 49 states objecting in Washington, D.C., they would probably use guns to enforce all of their greatest dreams, their greatest socialist dreams. So thankfully, the other 49 states are there to say, we don't just kill people when they don't agree with your politics. But that's changing, isn't it? It's changing. All right. Ooman says, can you speak to the Q phenomenon and the cultish behavior of many of the promoters and believers? The you're with us or you're against us part bothers me. I agree. I like the Q information. I accept it as more information. Sometimes it's like right on, and other times it's like, what happened? I thought you were the man and you're on the inside, and this Q person phenomena group is supposed to know everything. Where's the boom? Where's the this? Where's the bang? Where's the arrests? So Q is on, Q is off. So for that reason, what do I look at Q as? It's another source of information that I get to try and ferret the truth out with it. Right? Separate the wheat from the chaff. The bullshit out of it and try and use it for good information. There is a very, and Uman brings it up here, there's a very concerning part to the Q phenomenon that bothers me. It's the where we go one, we go all. Now that's a cute slogan, it's very patriotic sounding, but if where we as communists go one, we communists go all, it's a very communal sounding thing. Again, I am a patriotic man, but I'm a free man. And I don't like someone saying, you'll believe what we say, otherwise we're going to consider you the enemy. Right? It has a very cultish feel. You know, you want to be part of this gang because we're so brilliant, but they're not really showing that they're brilliant. It's really interesting information, though. And there's been a lot of information. I don't know if it's hackers that are getting bits and pieces. They're scraping the net for I don't know where they're getting their information from. Some of it's terrific, and I like it. But the same thing I tell you about me is what I tell you about Q, and what I tell myself about Q is it's another source of information. Verify it. Don't believe it as gospel. Follow it. Use it to your advantage. There's no requirement on my part. Let's just assume that Q was President Trump and his cabinet. And Q says to do this. You have to go to your town hall and participate in a speech. You're not going to tell me what to do. And if Q is the president and Q wants to give orders like that, just come fucking out and tell me as the president. You don't have to use an anonymous third-party website message machine and then all the vocal speech people to tell me what to do. I mean, if Trump said, hey, John, I'll meet you down at the county courthouse. Why don't you see you there in an hour? I'd be, okay, that's cool. Let's meet for an hour. We'll have a scotch. But don't create a group of followers that listen to an anonymous source that has occasionally very accurate insight. And then those people say, well, if you don't believe us, you're against us. Right? And who are you and how dare you not believe this source? Well, I'm sorry. I'm a free man and it's my choice. So, again, Q is interesting. But what's building up around it is unnerving in a way. But I am subscribed to 1, 2, 3 Q commenters, and I watch it from time to time. Every couple of days, at least once a week, sometimes several times a week, depending on the information and what information I get from other sources. I'm not going to listen to Q because Q says so. And I'm not going to listen to Q because other promoters say I should be listening to them who is listening to Q. I listen to Q when I get cued by something else to come back and take a look. If there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of reporters. There's a lot of people talking. I'm not just going to listen to one source and take it as gospel truth. Right? You're not going to condemn me to hell because I didn't believe in an anonymous source that isn't always right. So, good or bad, take it or leave it. Q is what it is. It's just one more way that I believe I can be more mentally prepared. All right. John Boz says, do you ever watch Jerome Corsi? He's indicating that there's going to be some fireworks. Get it? I get it, John. Fireworks in D.C. this coming week. With Rosenstein perhaps getting impeached. So the question is, do I ever watch Jerome Corsi? Yes, I do. Unlike Q, Corsi does not trust Sessions. I don't trust Sessions either. I don't trust any of them because I don't know them, because they're not in contact with me, because Trump isn't having a scotch with me. I don't trust any of them. I certainly don't trust Sessions. I don't trust Congress. I don't trust the senators. I don't trust Democrats. I don't trust any of these people. They haven't performed to my satisfaction, and even when they do, I'm still not going to trust them. Just because you get rid of one evil bastard or one evil group of bastards doesn't mean there isn't another one ready to step up and take their place instantly, for Pete's sake. These are human beings who are mad with power. And I'm sure there's good ones too. I mean, good human beings there. But the bunch of them are mad with power. And they get power, you bet. In a lot of ways, the only things keeping the Republicans in line is the Democrats. And the only thing keeping Democrats in line is the Republicans. Right? I would like people, someone, for fuck's sake, to stand up and fight for freedom. Not just to fight against, right, the people that are opposing their will. You know, when it's just amazing to me that no matter who's in office, they typically continue to go down the same path. That's my problem with them. Trump has spent money like a drunk sailor in a whorehouse that was having a sale on BJ's. A guy is he's just throwing money out there. You know, it's crazy. Now, I guess he doesn't care maybe because we're already going to have a financial, monetary, economic collapse and crash and reset. So what the fuck? Maybe. I don't know. He doesn't share with me, so I don't trust any of them. And I certainly don't trust Dr. Jerome Corsi. He seems like he has an axe to grind as well, a personal agenda. I mean, we all do to a degree. I don't think he's horribly self-promoting. I don't think he's horribly sneaky. I just don't know. How the fuck can I know? Right? Know a tree by its fruit. I want to see some good fruits, some good deeds, some good actions. One of the things I will continue to say, though, is about Trump, President Trump, is if he is not honestly fighting against the dark state, the deep state, the Democrats, the world socialists, the world social fascists, if he's not against them, then why go through the exercise, right? If he's on their side, why put up such a big stink and get everyone's attention and cause more and more people to wake up, to red pill them, right? To wake them up. I don't know if there's ever going to be a great awakening, even though that's what Q is promising. I would like there to be a great unveiling of information. And then let those who want to stay asleep continue to sleep, but at least give us, the people like us who want to know, give us the information. A great revealing would be more important than a great awakening. I don't know what these clowns out here that have been asleep their whole lives are going to wake up to. Right? They're going to wake up and realize that the dreams that they've been having in their head are bullshit, and they're not going to react well. All right, so continuing with John Boz's question. Remember that Sessions said he would quit if Rosenstein were fired. Let's wait and see, huh? Yeah, let's wait and see. Right, Rosenstein has been given 7 days. He can be charged with contempt. They can impeach him. I would like to see a lot of people impeached. Impeachment is a constitutional power founded in common law. And it's a way for the people or their representatives to hold other government members accountable, including Supreme Court justices. Read your Constitution. It says they can serve in times of good behavior. Right? That whole thing about it's a lifetime appointment, yeah, if they're behaving. When we talk about behaving, now this is where it comes down to common sense. Within the Constitution, this language is embedded. So the embedding of it has to do with the Constitution itself. It's not good behavior as in, did he take a cookie and not tell his wife about it? Right? Did he get off work and go have a drink at the bar instead of running straight home and doing the dishes? Right? The Supreme Court justices serve in times of good behavior, meaning when they behave well. When they don't behave well, that is, they do things that are anti-constitutional, unconstitutional. When they take the position on something that is so obviously unconstitutional that you would say it's bad behavior, it's bad thinking, right? Behavior comes from bad decisions and choices up here. Yeah, impeachment is something I'd like to see a whole lot more of, along with jury nullification. Okay. Jury nullification is a power, by the way, that we the people have. As a juror in grand jury or being seated as a jurist in a criminal case, you have the right to determine both the law and the facts, meaning you don't have to buy what anyone says. You're a free agent, a free human, and you can make the determination for yourself. That gives every single American the power, the absolute power to reject a law. So they may want to accept it in state A, but state B may say, you know what? We don't like that law. We're going to nullify it, right? We're going to not, you can enforce it all you want, arrest people, bring them to trial, and we're going to say, hey, trial, jury appears, right? We don't think that's a good law, so we're not going to uphold it. You can decide both the law and the fact. Lawyers, judges, and government do not like you, me, and any American having that kind of power. So they will never say that jury nullification is illegal, but they're going to talk about how, well, you know, it's irresponsible to try and think that way, which is what? Thinking for your fucking self? Right. Watch the government. Continuity of government. So Gnome Noon says, your assessment of our economy is off kilter. It might be. The auto sales market is in the hole because they are selling overpriced junk. I concur with you. I have this conversation all the time. I've had this fucking conversation for 20 years. If International Harvester, tractor company, they make the Ford, the engines, the diesel engines that go in Fords, they make road tractors or semis, they make farm tractors, agricultural tractors. They at one point made the International Scout. They made street vehicles also. Anyways, if they would give me the automotive division, which doesn't exist anymore, I would make a truck that was bare bones. No computers, no bullshit. It would have the Power Stroke V8 diesel in it because I love that engine. Right? It wouldn't have any of this computerized bullshit. Why can't they just make a vehicle that gets down the road? And again, I was saying this 20 years ago. A vehicle that you climb into. If you want, roll the window down if you need some air. Otherwise, that's it. Right? You get a basic heater, speedometer, fuel gauge. Keep it simple. Keep it cheap. There's no reason a pickup truck should cost $80,000, $100,000 for a truck. 4 wheels, a couple of seats, and a bed. For fuck's sake. $100,000? You know, vibrating heated electric seats, individual climate control, satellite navigation, right? Computer interface. It's just, the whole thing is ridiculous. Airbags for your testicles and your forehead, and the, you know, it's crazy. So yeah, they're selling overpriced junk. Nothing we can do about it. They're competing with each other to sell more techno garbage inside of them. Yeah, it's that's a part of it. But people don't have the money to buy it. You could take that $80,000 truck and say, John, we're going to cut you a fucking deal, pal. We're going to cut that $80,000 truck down to a $40,000 truck. That's all we're going to do is lower the price. Everything else is just as good. Same exact truck. I'm still not going to buy it. You want to know why? Because the pickup I drive is paid for. It's been paid for since 2006. There's no reason for me to buy one regardless of the price. They don't like that. They want to sell vehicles to people. Right? That's their job. Make vehicles, sell them. And they're overpriced, but at any price. I guess I could afford it if I wanted to, but I don't think most Americans can afford it. There's a problem with the economy. So, while my assessment of the economy may be off kilter, I know I'm right about that. People don't have the money. You can look at the statistics. You know, there's an awful lot of debt out there. Personal debt, government debt, corporate debt is huge. There's a serious problem that is starting to show its ugly head. It's called inflation. The interest rates are rising as well. All of these things are bad when you look at the big picture. You look at the small picture, the micro, the individual, they're not doing great. You look at the big picture, the macro, it's not doing great. So, but I'm sure there's things inside my head that I believe because I'm just another human being. So I might be off kilter a little bit, and I do know that these new cars are overpriced junk. Went to a car show Saturday and had some fun. Looked at some old cars. Loved it. Loved it. You know, I looked at a 69 Triumph. It was an amazing little car. Looked at I think it was a 61 Corvette. Or was it a 59? Anyways, that was an amazing car. Simple by comparison. And probably just as fun to drive as a more modern Corvette or sports car. Anyways, you guys have a great day. Eyes open. Get prepared. Go to the preparedmind.club. Tell friends. Get over to Patreon. Tell friends. At least go to YouTube and subscribe there. And get over to the club. Look around. Learn. Listen. Love it. Because the people out there do not love us. There's a lot of shit coming down. So, stay frosty. Chance favors. The Prepared Mind is yours. Thanks again, everybody, for supporting us. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.